I've been a member of this U.S. House for 12 years, 132 days, and this morning. So this issue I'm going to talk to you about has been an issue for 12 years, 132 days, and this morning at least. That is putting an FAA mandated fence around the Tule Lake Municipal Airport, which lies in the town of Newell, right not far from the area called Tule Lake, right on the California-Oregon border. So the airport is right here. That's the perimeter of that. One of the contentions is that there's an issue with the National Park monument nearby. So the 37 acres that are proximate, but not even adjacent to the airport, are highlighted in this magenta color here, right? So that's 37 acres that is not even adjacent to the airport. So FAA has been mandating all this time that there should be a fence for safety around there to keep people from wandering in, or deer or elk, maybe livestock, what have you, which is a good idea. But there's been just one holdup after another to getting this job done. So, Mr. Hybeck, I just want to ask you straight up, because it's been really aggravating to me, and I've been holding my tongue for a long time, allowing some sort of process, as it is, to work. Is this an acceptable timeline for something the FAA is mandating of the locals there for a very important facility for agriculture and the dusting, the crop dusting aspects of that, as well as other municipal airport needs?
Yes, thank you for your question, Congressman. To answer directly, no, it is not acceptable. In my experience with environmental reviews and Section 106 consultation processes, it's been my experience that sometimes we wait far too long before elevating issues to be resolved when there's disagreement amongst the parties. And I think some of that comes into play here. What
does elevating issues mean?
Elevating issues means that if you can't come to an agreement with a consulting party in the process or with another agency in the environmental review, that you would elevate it up to another higher level. And I say that, sir, because I am acutely aware of this issue. I am tracking it, and as of this morning, I understand that we have an agreement with on the MOA with the county. I also understand that there's an agreement on the visitation plan, and that all the language has been worked out there. And now we have the
So do you stand behind that? Because if I ask Modoc County about this, is the agreement in place? They'll say, yes, we've worked with them and it's in place. Will I get that answer from Modoc County?
The agreement is not yet in place. The agreement has now, once we have the second piece of it, the monitoring plan to monitor for when they're, to monitor, those pieces will need to go back to the
You mean monitoring while the fence is being installed, looking for stuff in the ground?
No, I think it's monitoring of the visitors coming onto the airport, sir. So the MOA contains two appendices. That second appendices for the monitoring plan needs to, my understanding is the county will have some requests to edits back to us by Friday. After that, I expect next week the entire MOA with the appendices will move to the State Historic Preservation Office for review.
Well, I can point to much of the delay came from these so-called consensus building meetings run by a group called the Udall Foundation. They were seeking funding a couple of years ago in one of my other committees that they forced Modoc County to go through at tremendous cost to the taxpayer all these meetings to build some kind of consensus. The consensus never happened. Lawsuits were still filed by a group that thinks that they need to take the airport out and turn it back into the internment camp that it was during the war. So the interesting thing is that the 37 acres that's set aside as a park right here has had nothing done to it as a park. It's got a couple ruins on it, and the whole rest of the field area has nothing in it. There used to be those internment camp huts there. After the war, many of those were purchased by locals, and the locals used them as homes. So we're talking about an issue that is really a manufactured one by outsiders agitating from getting a blankety-blank fence built for 12 plus years. I mean, isn't that kind of embarrassing after a point, sir?
I do understand your frustration, Congressman.
No, but is it embarrassing to you all?
I think we could do better, and that's what I was referring to when I said about elevating this issue. It would have been, in my view, better to elevate it sooner to get this resolved.
Okay, so since we're elevated now, what kind of timeline are we looking at to work out the monitoring, the access, people, I don't know what there is to visit out there. It's a runway and an open field with a broken down fence from the past. There's nothing to see there. But that all said, and what, I would love to, is if they did want to turn this park into something that could be visited and refurbish it into something that would be a replica of a sorry past that was there, I'd be all for that on the 37 acres. Nobody has moved forward to do that. National Parks hasn't, the monument people haven't, and the people interested in that haven't. Let's look at the next slide.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have here,
The gentleman's time,
this is the perimeter fence that needs to be done, and so let's get it done, please, okay? It
You
doesn't
have my commitment
arc
to see this
at all,
through, sir.
at all. Thank you.
You have my commitment.
the gentleman's time